Hey everybody, how you doing? To my brothers and sisters and cousins and friends, I am Sandra Drew of Aquarius School for Kids, an oasis of early learning with the African child in mind. I am here to help you learn how to teach your child how to read. Well, if you have been with me for the past few videos, you have learned about the 5 components of literacy. And you also learned about some prerequisites to reading instruction. Now, in the last few videos, I've also introduced to you how to instruct your children in hearing sounds in words. And we reviewed and learned about 2 sounds. And today, I want to extend what we have already talked about. I want to show you how you can add on to the lessons that we've taught already, okay? So I'm just going to do a little role playing as usual, and you can glean from what I'm teaching you, okay? Now, in the role play, I'm going to do a review, and then I'm going to do a little game, and then I want to do a read aloud and then suggest an activity that you can do. Here goes. All right. Let's review the 2 sounds that we have practiced so far. What were those 2 sounds? Do you remember? Exactly. Those 2 sounds were and ah. Very good. Can you give me some words that begin with the sound Okay, very good, very good. Man begins with the sound man. Can you give me another one? Awesome. Milk. Milk begins with the sound Give me one more. Wonderful. Map. Map begins with the sound Now let's try ah. Can you give me some words that begin with the sound ah? Apple. Very good. Apple. Give me another one. Alligator. Alligator begins with the sound ah. I hear it at the beginning of that word. That's my favorite word, Africa. Everyone say Africa. Do you hear ah in the beginning of the word Africa? Very good. Very good. Well, now let's play a little game. This time what I'm going to do is I am going to give you a word and you're going to tell me if it begins with the sound or the sound ah. So put your listening ears on, okay? You ready? All right. My first word. My first word is moon. Moon. The astronaut traveled to the moon. What sound does moon begin with? Great. That's right. It begins with moon. Our next word, astronaut. Astronaut. What sound does astronaut begin with? Right. Astronaut. My next word is mouse. What sound do you hear at the beginning of mouse? Very good. Mouse. Next word, motherland. Motherland. What sound do you hear at the beginning of motherland? Awesome. Motherland. The next word is add. Add. What sound do you hear in the beginning of add? Ah. Good job. Next word, axe. Axe. What sound do you hear at the beginning of axe? Great. Ah. My last word, money. Money. What sound do you hear in the beginning of money? Very, very good. You got them all correct. Very good. You were able to hear the sounds in the beginning of those words. Now, I have something special for you today. Today, we are going to do a read aloud. We're going to read a story, okay? And it's one of my favorite stories. And I'm going to pause right here. So you saw how we reviewed the sounds, and you saw how I added a little tiny game to it. Now, this game, even though it was just verbally, that's something that you can also do with pictures. You can have cutouts that represent these words like moon, astronaut, a mouse, the motherland, or you can say Africa, maybe a plus sign for add, a picture of an axe. and then some money. And you can have maybe 2 columns, and the top of one column you have a word that begins with the sound a picture rather that begins with the sound and another picture that begins with the sound ah, and then the children or your student could just sort these pictures under the correct side. Okay, so that's something you can do visually. Okay, we did it with listening, and you can do it visually as well, so that's something you can do. Now for the read aloud, what I'm going to do with this read aloud example I'm going to give you is I am going to focus on concepts of print in this read aloud. And the way that this read aloud is going to connect to the letters or the letter sounds that we are learning is because some of the things in the book begin with the sound and the sound ah, specifically the words moon and astronaut. So that's how I'm going to make that bridge between the sounds as well as introduce some concepts of print. Okay, so let me get back in my role play mode and we'll go on from there. Okay, I promised you a read aloud today, and today we are going to read a book that I really love, and the title of this book is Swift Walker Space Adventure. Swift Walker Space Adventure. Now in that title, I hear a word that begins with the ah sound. Let me say it again. The title is Swift Walker Space Adventure. What word begins with that sound? Ah. Very good. You have great listening ears. Adventure. That's right. And we're going to go on an adventure with Swift Walker. But before we read the book, we want to study the book. We want to look at what the book is actually like. Okay? Now, on the front of the book, this is the front cover of the book. Books have a cover. They have a front cover and they have a back cover. So this is the front cover. The front cover is going to tell you the name of the book, which is a title, and it's also going to tell you the person that wrote the book, the person that wrote the words of the book in the book, and that's the author. So on our front cover, we're going to find the title, and at this point, you can just slide your hand across the title, and we have the author, and at this point, you can slide your hand across the name of the author. You're not really specifically pointing out letters right now, but you're just setting them up for the future. And it also has the name of the illustrator on the book. So we have the front cover, we have the back cover, and we also have the spine of the book. Now, looking at the front cover of the book, can you tell me what you see? Can you describe what you see? Awesome, awesome. You see a little boy. Okay, what else? Okay, he is dressed like an astronaut. Amazing. That's right. He's dressed like an astronaut. Yeah. Astronaut begins with the sound ah. You caught that, didn't you? I did too. What else do you see on the cover of the book? Okay, I see the sun. Okay, sun. The sun begin up with one of the sounds that we've learned. Does sun begin with ah? No, it doesn't. The sun begin with the sound No, it doesn't. I wonder what sound it begins with. Oh, can you hear that? Wow. I think one day we're going to study that sound. Very good. Anyway, let's get back to the front cover of the book. What else do you see on the book? Yes, I see some planets. Very good. I see planets. Yes, it's really dark all around. It looks like it's outer space. Yes, yes. Can you think of anything that's in outer space? Sometimes, we have the sun and the planets. Is there anything else that might be in outer space? Right, the moon. Right, moon. And what sound does moon begin with? Very good. Moon begins with the sound. Very good. And I'm going to stop right here. At this point, we've just done a few concepts of print, the front cover, the back cover, the spine. I know I don't have the book in my hand, so we're just kind of imagining right now. But I do have the book up in the corner over here so you can see what it looks like. But anywho, we've done that portion of concept of print. And now what I would suggest for you to do is to just read the story straight through. You don't have to stop and ask any questions. It's just like a time for entertainment, time for enjoying the story. And so that's what I would do the first time around. The second time around when you read the story, you can go through the concepts of print again concerning the front cover, the back cover, the spine, the title of the book, the author writes the words in the book, the illustrator, and then you can slowly add on something like you might start questioning things inside of the book in the second read. And the types of questions you ask, it just depend on what you are looking for, what you are trying to focus on. But we can get into questioning later. But I just wanted to give you this as an example of how you can connect the text that you're going to read with the sounds that you have already taught. And then you can connect it with a sound that is coming up. Okay, so everything is all connected. Now, after this, you can also do a hands-on activity. And a suggestion that you can do is you can color the moon. Just have the moon and just color it, or a picture of an astronaut and color that picture of the astronaut. Or you might want to take a paper plate and cut it out into a full moon or a quarter moon or a half moon, and you might want to decorate it, okay? So this activity will connect with the story, and it will connect with the sounds that you have been instructing on, that you have been teaching your child or teaching the children in your classroom on, okay? So that's something that you can do. Let me see on my notes. So that's pretty much what I wanted to share with you today. So I'm just going to review what we did. We reviewed the 2 sounds that we already introduced our children to. We also played a game, sorting the sounds, and you can just do it orally, or you can actually do something with visuals. We also read aloud a story that connected to the sounds, as well as it was a story that's involved with science, because it can be a science piece. And then the last thing was we did an activity. Now, these are things that you can do all in one day, or if you want to do it over a period of time, you kind of gauge your time, however you do your homeschool or however you do your classroom. But this is just a systematic way of instruction, okay? So we have been, this video is the longest I've done so far. We're at 12 minutes already, but I think it's been 12 minutes well spent. So before we go, I want to, as always, invite you to visit my website at www.aquariusschoolforkids.com. And on that website, you can see a lot of the resources that I have for instructing our little ones. It includes handwriting books, and it also includes the book that I talked about where they can just freely write. It's blank pages, but the cover is what really I say will grab their attention, because they can see a child on the cover that looks just like them, okay? So that's books that you can get. There's also sight word books. They're actually 2, volume 1 and 2. And then I also have something for teenagers and then for adults as well. The one book that I have for adults is my mother's book. I told you about that in a former video. Mary Weeks is Still Standing. So something for you, parent, that you can read that you'd really enjoy. I'd really appreciate it that if you really find this channel so far to be beneficial to you and what you need, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Tell your friends about it. I want to continue to grow our channel so that we can reach as many of our brothers and sisters with these lessons that I have, so that we can be better at teaching our children how to read. Well, I guess that's all I have for right now. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. And I really look forward to instructing you and being with you and teaching you in our upcoming videos. Well, that's all for now. Take care and bye-bye.